It was a quiet night in the small town of Elmswood. The sky was clear, the streets empty, and only the soft sound of crickets filled the air. A 17-year-old boy named Eli Carter walked home alone. He had just finished his part-time job at the gas station. His bag was over his shoulder, and his headphones played soft music. As he walked past the old woods, something strange happened. The music in his headphones stopped. The air turned cold. Suddenly, the sky above him flashed with a bright blue light. It was like lightning, but silent. Eli looked up, shocked. He saw something falling from the sky, a fast-moving, glowing object. It left a trail of smoke behind it and crashed into the forest with a loud boom. The ground shook. Eli froze for a moment. Then curiosity pulled him forward. He left the road and ran into the woods, his heart racing. The trees were dark, and the smell of something burning filled the air. After a few minutes of running, he saw it, a strange metallic capsule, half buried in the dirt. It was still smoking, glowing faintly with a soft blue light. The shape was smooth and round, unlike anything he had ever seen. Strange symbols were glowing on its side. As he got closer, he heard a soft click. The capsule door began to open slowly. Eli stepped back, unsure of what would come out. His heart pounded louder than ever. Then a girl stepped out. She looked around 17, just like Eli, but she was not normal. Her skin had a strange silver glow under the moonlight. Her eyes were bright violet. She wore a suit made of a thin, armor-like material, torn and burned in some places. She had small cuts on her face and arms, but they were healing fast, almost like magic. Eli couldn't speak. He just stared. The girl looked at him, confused. She raised her hand, not to attack, but to keep balance. She was weak. Then, in a low voice, she said something in a language Eli didn't understand. But after a second, she tried again, slowly, in broken English. "Don't tell anyone you saw me." Eli swallowed. Who are you?" She didn't answer. She looked around, scared, then whispered, "They sent me here." "Not to live. I was sent to disappear." Eli stepped closer. "Disappear? Who sent you?" The girl fell to her knees. Her breathing was heavy. Eli ran to her side and helped her up. She was cold and shaking, but she didn't seem dangerous. She looked up at him again, her violet eyes glowing softly. "I don't have time. If they find me, I die. If you help me, you may die too." Eli hesitated. This was crazy, impossible, but something in her voice, the fear, the pain, felt real. "Come on," he said quietly. "You can't stay here." He helped her to her feet and looked around to make sure no one was watching. Together they moved through the trees, away from the crash site. As they walked, the girl looked up at the stars. "This planet is beautiful," she whispered. Eli glanced at her. "You're not from Earth." "Are you?" She didn't answer. But he already knew. They reached Eli's house after 20 minutes. Everyone was asleep. He quietly opened the garage and took her inside. He gave her a blanket, some water, and a flashlight. "Stay here tonight," he said. "I'll figure something out in the morning." The girl looked at him. Her voice was soft now. "Why? Are you helping me?" Eli shrugged. "I don't know. Maybe because you didn't crash here to hurt anyone." She nodded slowly, then said, "My name is not important. Not now." She looked down. "I was not a hero. I was not a soldier. I was a prisoner." Eli's eyes widened. "What did you do?" She looked away. "They said I broke the law. They said I killed someone. But I didn't. They wanted me gone. And Earth was the easiest place to throw me." There was silence between them. Then she looked directly at Eli and whispered, "If they find me, they'll kill me. And if they know you helped me, they'll kill you too." Eli didn't speak. He didn't know what to say. He stepped back, slowly locking the garage door behind him. Outside, the wind blew gently. But in the sky, far above, 3 small lights blinked, watching. Asterisk, it was 3:27 a.m. Eli woke up with a start. He had a strange dream. The sky was full of ships, fire rained down, and someone kept whispering in his ear, "You shouldn't have helped her." He sat up in bed, heart pounding. It took him a moment to remember. It wasn't just a dream. She was real. Down in his garage right below him was a girl from another planet. A girl who said she was a criminal. A girl who didn't even tell her name. He got out of bed, quietly walked downstairs, and opened the garage door. She was awake, sitting in the corner, staring at the wall. The flashlight flickered beside her. Her silver hair was messy, and the cuts on her arms were already gone. "You didn't sleep?" Eli asked. She didn't look at him. "I don't sleep, not here." "Not safe." Eli brought her some food, just bread and a banana. She looked at it like she didn't understand. "You eat, right?" he asked. She picked up the bread and sniffed. Our food looks different, but this will work." Eli sat down on the stool across from her. He watched her for a while, then asked, "You never told me your name." She looked up slowly. Her eyes were glowing again, just a little. "I forgot it," she said. "Or maybe I threw it away." Eli frowned. "Why?" She didn't answer right away. Then she whispered, "On my world, names are recorded. Every action, every crime is tied to your name. So when they blamed me, I didn't want it anymore." Eli was quiet. He didn't know what to say. She looked at him, more serious now. "I didn't kill anyone. I was framed. But when you're young and poor, no one listens." Eli believed her. He didn't know why, but he did. Suddenly, the lights in the garage flickered. A strange humming sound filled the air. The girl stood up quickly. "Get down," she shouted. Eli dropped to the floor as the flashlight exploded in a spark. The humming grew louder for a moment, then stopped. "What was that?" Eli gasped. She stepped back, breathing fast. "A signal. Someone is scanning this area." "From space?" She shook her head. "No, from Earth." Eli's eyes widened. "You mean someone here is looking for you?" She nodded. "They activated my biotag, a tracker in my body. But it should only work on my home planet." She pulled back her sleeve and showed him a small, glowing mark on her wrist. It looked like a scar, but it pulsed with light. "They're modifying it," she said. "Which means someone from my world is already here." The room fell silent. Eli whispered, "Are they coming to kill you?" She didn't reply. She just sat down again, pulling the blanket around her. "I have to leave," she said. "No," Eli said quickly. "You don't even know this place. They'll find you faster." She looked at him, confused. "Why are you helping me?" He hesitated, then shrugged. "I don't know. Maybe because I think you're telling the truth." She tilted her head. "Most people fear what they don't understand. You help it." Suddenly, they both froze. A car was moving slowly outside. It stopped right in front of Eli's house. The headlights went off. The girl stood up fast. Her hands started glowing. Soft blue energy built around her fingers. Her eyes lit up bright. "Don't," Eli whispered. "It could be nothing." They both crouched behind the garage door, silent. Then a knock. Not on the front door. On the garage door. Knock, knock, knock. 3 slow hits. Not hard. Not soft. Eli and the girl didn't move. They barely breathed. Then a voice, muffled but clear, came from the other side. "We know she's inside." Eli's eyes widened. The girl's glow grew brighter. Her whole body was now pulsing with strange energy. She whispered, "It's not a human." The door handle twisted. Eli pulled the girl back through the side door. They ran outside, staying low, into the neighbor's yard, hiding behind a bush. Eli looked back. A man had entered the garage, tall, in a black suit. But his eyes glowed, not like hers, red. "He's a tracker," she said. "They sent him to find me. What do we do?" Eli asked. She looked up at the stars again. "Run. Until I figure out how to remove the tracker." We run. Asterisk somewhere above Earth, in a satellite orbiting silently in space. A small black device blinked to life. Its screen glowed red. Lines of strange alien code appeared, shifting, searching, decoding. Then it locked onto a target. Subject detected. Location: Earth, Sector 34B. Status: Exiled. Biotag active. Threat level: high. A voice crackled through a radio inside the satellite, not in English, but in a language unknown to humans. "We found her. Begin Earth-level search. Prepare the hunter." Back on Earth, Ella and the girl were hiding inside an abandoned cabin deep in the woods. They hadn't slept. It had been nearly 48 hours since the crash. The girl sat by the window, watching the trees like a guard dog. Eli sat on the floor, exhausted. "What are we even doing?" he muttered. "We can't run forever." The girl didn't answer. She was listening to something Eli couldn't hear. Finally, she whispered, "They're talking." "Up there." Eli looked up. "Who?" She pointed to the sky. "The satellites. They've been reprogrammed to find me. And now they're listening to you too." Eli's heart skipped a beat. "Wait, what?" She looked at him, serious. "Your phone, your internet, your name, your location. It's all connected now, because you helped me." Eli threw his phone across the room. "Great." She stood and walked to the far wall, touching it gently. Her fingers glowed again. The wood turned transparent for a moment, showing the outside. Nothing moved. Yet. She turned back to Eli. "You should leave me. Go home. Say you were kidnapped." "I'm not leaving you," Eli said. "Why?" Eli stood up. "Because you're not the monster they say you are." She stared at him for a second, then turned away. "You still don't even know what I was accused of." Eli nodded. "Then tell me." She closed her eyes. "On my world, I was a military engineer. I built defense systems. Someone used my design to destroy a city. Thousands died. They blamed me, said I gave the codes to the enemy. But you didn't?" Eli asked. "No, I tried to stop it. But they needed a name, and mine was easy to erase." Suddenly, her body stiffened. She stepped back, looking at the sky again. "What is it now?" Eli asked. She raised one hand. The glowing mark on her wrist was pulsing faster. They activated. "The ground signal," she said. "It's no longer coming from space." "Meaning what?" "Someone on Earth, someone here, is hunting me." At the same time, in a government research base, Agent Collins stared at a screen. It showed satellite footage of the woods. "Outside Elmswood. She's moving again," said the technician beside him. Collins leaned forward. "Activate drone recon. And tell the special unit to stand by." "But sir," the tech said, "she's not violent. All signs say she's just hiding." Collins didn't blink. "She's hiding because she knows what she is. And soon she'll remember what she can do." He turned away from the screen and whispered, "One alien girl could be the start of an invasion." Back in the cabin, Ella asked the girl, "If they catch you, what will they do?" She answered without emotion, "They will erase me. Not just kill me. Erase. No history. No name. No memory." Eli stepped forward. "Then we don't let them." The girl looked at him for a long time. Then she said something strange. "You have a strong soul, for a weak planet. Eli frowned. Thanks, I guess? Suddenly, a sharp beep echoed inside the cabin. The girl turned sharply. Her eyes glowed brighter than before. What is it? Eli asked. She walked to the corner of the room and pulled up a floorboard. Under it was a small cube alien technology. She stared at it in shock. This is mine, she said. From my ship. But I didn't bring it here. Then who did? Before she could answer, the cube beeped again and projected a hologram. In midair, a blurry face appeared. Male. Older. Same violet eyes as the girl. He said just 2 words. They lied. Then the image disappeared. The girl looked at Eli. I know who framed me. Asterisk, he had worn many faces. A soldier. A doctor. A schoolteacher. Now, he was just a man in a black suit, walking down a gas station aisle, picking up a bottle of water. No. One knew what he really was. His name was not Human. His bones were not. Human. His mission was not Human. He didn't blink as he passed the cashier. His red eyes briefly flickered before he forced them to look normal again. Gray, dull, forgettable. He walked outside, got into a black car, and tapped a small device on the dashboard. It projected a glowing red dot on a map. Target detected. Still. Moving. Still alive. She should have been gone by now, he said to himself in a low, flat voice. But the boy interfered. Elsewhere, deep in the woods, Eli and the alien girl were on the move again. The night air was cold, and the trees were thick, but they didn't stop. The girl moved fast, faster than Eli thought possible. I thought you were tired, he gasped. She didn't look back. I'm healing, and I can feel him now. The one they sent. Eli slowed down. Wait, you mean the guy in the suit? The one from my garage? She nodded. He's not just a tracker, she said. He's something worse. What is he? She looked at him, serious. A shadow. They're designed to blend in. They don't sleep. They don't stop, and they never miss. Back in the black car, the hunter drove without headlights, silent, smooth, machine-like. He was reading their path, tracking heat, sound, and something deeper, energy. Her signature is stabilizing. Her power is returning. That was dangerous. He pressed a button. The car vanished. Literally. The vehicle faded into the darkness, invisible to all human eyes. The hunt had begun. In the woods. Eli stopped beside a fallen tree, catching his breath. We can't just keep running forever, he said. You said that device, the cube, showed someone who framed you. Can we find him? The girl crouched beside him. Yes, but first I must break my biotag. If not, the hunter will always find me. She pulled back her sleeve again and showed Eli the glowing scar. Eli leaned closer. Can I help? She hesitated, then handed him a small silver tool, alien, sharp, humming with low energy. You must cut around it, she said, not through it. Eli's hand shook. What if I mess up? You won't. He didn't believe her, but he trusted her. He pressed the tool to her wrist and made the first cut. Blue light sparked. She didn't flinch. You're not even scared, Eli said. I was, the first time they sent someone like him. The first time? She looked at him. This isn't my first exile. Just my last chance. Suddenly, her body jerked. The tracker flared. Her eyes turned completely violet. He's here, she whispered. The hunter stood just outside the woods. He didn't need to see them. He could feel them. The girl's energy had touched Earth's air. It had left a trail, weak, but clear. He took one step forward. The grass beneath him turned gray. Another step. The trees leaned away, as if afraid. He moved fast, quiet. Inhuman. Ally saw something moving through the trees. Just a flicker of Shadow. Then nothing. Then red eyes. Run! The girl shouted. They bolted. The tracker in her wrist now glowed like fire. The hunter gave chase. But he didn't run. He glided. Faster than human. Silent like a ghost. Eli tripped over a root and fell. The girl spun around and launched a blast of blue energy from her hand. The trees behind her cracked. The hunter stopped, just for a second. Go! She shouted at Eli. No! Eli pulled her up. We go together. They ran into a clearing, but there, right in front of them, was another figure. Same black suit. Same glowing red eyes. Eli froze. Wait, there's two? The girl shook her head, eyes wide. No, that's not a second one. She stared at the new figure. Then whispered, That's who I was accused of killing. 5 years ago. On the planet Vire on. The skies were always gold. The towers were silver and floating. Zira was smiling. She stood at a platform high above the city. Her silver gloves buzzed with energy as she tested a new defense shield. Soldiers watched from below. They cheered. Her invention had worked. She had just saved the capital from invasion. Again, people trusted her, respected her, but someone in the crowd was already planning to destroy her now. Zira woke up with a sharp breath. Her hands were shaking. Eli was sitting beside her, keeping watch. The woods around them were quiet, too quiet. You were dreaming again, he said softly. Zira nodded. It wasn't a dream. It was a memory. From before they turned me into a criminal. Eli leaned forward. You said that guy? The one we saw in the clearing? That was the person you were accused of killing? She looked down. Yes. His name was Commander Vesk. He was my teacher, my mentor, and he was working with the enemy. Eli's eyes widened. Wait, your mentor betrayed you? He used my defense system to attack a rebel colony. Innocent families, children. He made it look like I sent the signal. Why? She looked him in the eyes. Because I found out his secret. He was planning a war. He wanted power. I was just the first person who got in the way. Eli was quiet, then asked, And now he's here? On Earth? She nodded. He followed me. Or maybe he was already here before me. Meanwhile, inside a hidden lab beneath Earth's surface, Commander Vesk stood in front of a screen. His face was sharp, expression calm, too calm. Behind him stood the hunter, silent as ever. Vesk spoke to someone through a communication line. She remembers, he said. She saw me. A voice replied, Robotic, then end her before the humans learn the truth. Vesk smiled faintly. Oh, they'll learn, but not before she burns. He turned to the hunter. Bring the boy to me, alive. Should come looking for him. And then we finish this, back in the forest. Zira was explaining everything to Eli. My people didn't care about truth, she said. They cared about control. The trial lasted 1 hour. No witnesses, no defense. They just exiled you? Eli asked. She nodded. To Earth, a backwater planet no one watches. They thought I'd die here alone. But you didn't, Eli said. You survived, and now we fight. Back. Zira hesitated. Then opened her hand. Inside was the cube. The same one from earlier. She placed it on the ground. This contains my entire case, my files, my designs. If I can open the lock, I can show the truth. Eli watched her press her finger to it. The cube glowed, then beeped red. Locked? Eli asked. Worse, Zira said. Encrypted by Vesk himself. Only his DNA can unlock it. They sat in silence. Then Eli asked, So what now? Zira stood. Now, we find Vesk. But someone else had plans first. As they packed their things. A drone high above them zoomed in silently. It had no wings. No noise. It simply watched. and tagged. A red dot appeared on Eli's back. Inside Vesk's lab, the screen beeped. Target locked, the AI voice said. Vesk smiled. Send the shadow. Later that night, Eli went to a nearby stream to collect water. Zira stayed behind to charge a small power core she found in her escape pod wreckage. Suddenly, the forest went still again. Zira's fingers froze. She stood up slowly. Eli? She called. No answer. She ran toward the stream. The bucket was on the ground. Water spilled. Footprints. Eli's ended suddenly. A strange symbol was burned into a nearby tree. A spiral. Her people's execution mark. Eyes widened. They didn't just come to kill me. She looked up at the stars, her voice shaking. They came to erase everything. Darkness. Then. A soft hum. Eli opened his eyes slowly. He wasn't in the forest anymore. He was lying on a cold, smooth floor. The room was made of metal, but not human metal. The walls shimmered, almost breathing. The air was warm, but something about it felt artificial. No windows. No doors. Just silence, and that constant, low humming sound like a machine thinking. Eli sat up. His hands were free. But something in his head ached, like a buzzing deep behind his eyes. He stood. Hello? No answer. He walked around the room, pressing on the walls. Nothing moved. No cracks. No buttons. Just one thing in the center, a glowing chair, shaped like it had grown from the floor, and a voice, deep, calm, and in perfect English, echoed around him. Please sit. The hunter will see you now. Eli's chest tightened. No thanks. I'll stand. The voice spoke again, softer this time. Resistance will only hurt, not you, her. Eli clenched his fists. He stepped toward the chair. Meanwhile, miles away, deep in the forest. Zyr knelt beside the strange mark on the tree. The execution spiral. It wasn't just a threat. It was a message. They had Eli, and they wanted her to come. She stood and looked around. The trees were quiet. The cube pulsed faintly in her hand. She whispered to herself, You should have run, Eli. You should have left me. Then she pressed her fingers to the ground, and the dirt beneath her glowed. She was done running. Back in the prison. Eli sat in the chair now, not because he trusted them, but because he had no other choice. The moment he sat, the walls changed. They turned into moving images, memories, his own, his school, his home. His mom's smile, his dad's funeral. His part-time job at the gas station. Everything. He watched in shock. You've been watching me? He said. The voice returned. Since the moment you made contact with the fugitive. You are now. A witness. To what? To the truth. And its destruction. Then the wall shifted again. This time, not his memories. Zyr a single quotes. S. Her trial, her punishment, her exile. And. Commander Vesk. Clean, powerful, standing tall. As she was dragged away. Why are you showing me this? Eli asked. The voice paused. Then. Because we want you to doubt her. And when she comes for you, we want her to see it in your eyes. The door finally opened. And the hunter stepped in. He looked like a man, but his walk was too smooth, his body too still, his face too perfect. Red eyes glowed faintly. He stood in front of Eli. You're just a kid, the hunter said. Barely. Even useful. But she chose you. Why? Eli stared at him, silent. The hunter leaned closer. Do you know what she really is? What she could become? Eli replied calmly. I know what she's not. She's not like you. The hunter smiled and turned away. She will come. That is her flaw. He pressed a button. The chair locked around Eli's arms and legs. She will watch you die. Before she dies, too. But Zira was already coming. Through the trees, through the field of drones, through the veil of traps and warnings. Her eyes were burning with violet fire. She had removed the biotag, carved it out herself. Her hand still bleeding, she carried. Only the cube and her rage. She wasn't sneaking in. She was charging in, back in the cell. The door opened again, but this time Eli didn't see the hunter. He saw Zira. She stood there, glowing, her body pulsing with energy. The metal around her began to twist from the heat. The chair unlocked itself and dropped Eli to the floor. "Let's go," she shouted. Eli ran to her, but behind them, the wall exploded. The hunter walked through the smoke, eyes burning red. "You think you can win?" he said. Zira stepped in front of Eli. "I'm not here to win," she said. "I'm here to finish it. Silence. No wind. No voices. No birds. Just silence." The battlefield was still. Trees stood scorched. Smoke curled above cracked earth. The forest, once alive, now looked like it had been touched by a forgotten war. In the center of the clearing stood Zira, her breathing heavy. One arm was burned. Her suit was torn. Her violet eyes dimmed, but she was still standing, across. From her, the hunter lay motionless, a broken heap of synthetic flesh and wires, steam rising from his shattered frame. Beside Zira, Eli was on his knees, alive. Barely. He looked up at her, eyes wide. You did it," he whispered. Zira didn't answer. She was staring at something in the distance. A ship, sleek, silent, hovering just above the ground. It had no weapons, no sound, but Zira knew what it meant. Home. They had come for her. The ship opened. A voice called out in her native tongue, clear, commanding. "Zira of Virion, your exile is over. Your name is restored. You are free to return." Eli's eyes lit up. "You can go back? They believe you now?" Zira nodded slowly. "They received the data. The cube sent everything after I broke the encryption." She looked down at him. "They know I was framed. That Vesk was the traitor, but he used me." Eli smiled weakly. "Then go. You're free." Zira looked at the ship again. Its lights glowed like stars waiting to carry her home, but she didn't move. She stepped toward Eli. Then reached down and helped him stand. "There's one thing they don't know," she said softly. "What's that?" he asked. Zira looked at the sky. Then back at Earth. "That I changed here." The ship's voice called again. Time limit reached. "You must board now or remain." Zira's hand tightened around Eli's. She stepped forward. Then stopped and spoke in a clear voice, not to the ship, but to the sky. "I choose Earth," the voice responded. "That is permanent." Zira smiled, a real, tired smile. "Good." The ship waited a moment, then silently rose higher and disappeared into the clouds. No farewell, no applause, no fanfare. Just wind. Returning to the forest. Later that day, the two of them sat by a small fire. Eli had bandages on his shoulder. Zira had sealed her wounds with glowing threads. He looked at her. "So. What now? You gonna try living like a normal person?" Zira chuckled. "I don't even know what normal means, but maybe. I'll try." They sat in silence. Then Zira asked, "You still trust me after all this?" Eli smiled. "You're not the same girl who fell from the sky anymore." She nodded. "And you're not the same boy who found me." Sometime later, a man in a government suit watched a satellite feed in a dark control room. He zoomed in on two figures by a campfire, one alien, one human. "They think it's over," he said to someone behind him. The second man stepped forward. "No, it's just begun." He pressed a button. New signals lit up across the globe. Not one, not two. 7 alien signals, all activated. All waking up. Back in the forest. Zira looked at the stars. Her eyes narrowed. "They're coming," she whispered. Eli looked up beside her. "Then we get ready." She was sent here to disappear, but Earth just found its guardian.